Hello, everyone, and welcome to Jackson's Math Notebook. This is our introductory video in a series of videos related to prime factorization. And what is prime factorization? It is simply the act of breaking a composite number down into a product of its prime numbers or prime factors. And so let's take a look, for example, at 17 times 23 is equal to 391, basic multiplication, in which we have one factor, which is 17, and another factor, which is 23. And when we multiply these two factors together, we get 391. However, it is also good to say that 17 and 23 are prime numbers. And what are prime numbers? A prime number is simply a number that has just two factors, itself and one. For example, the only way to get 17 through multiplication is to say 17 times 1 because there are no other factors that can arrive at 17 when you multiply them, and the same is true for 23. 23 is just simply a product of itself and 1 because there are no other ways to multiply any two numbers to get 23 other than to multiply 23 times 1. And what we're going to do, we're going to break down 48 into its prime factors using two factor trees, in which we're going to show you right here. But before we break down 48 into its prime factors, let us take a look at the factors of 48, in which they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 16, 24, and 48 itself. And let's get a picture as to why these are factors of 48. Well, we can go like this. 1 times 48 equals 48. 2 times 24 gives us 48. 3 times 16 gives us 48. 4 times 12 would give us 48. And 6 times 8 will give us 48. These are the factors of 48. But let's go even further by breaking 48 down into its prime factors, and let us milk the twos in this case. We're going to milk the threes in the second case, and we're going to show you why we arrive at the same prime factorization. But first, let's go with milking the twos. Because 48 is an even number, we can always get the first prime factor out of 48, which is 2. Yes, believe it or not, 2 is a prime factor because the only way to get 2 through multiplication is to say 2 times 1. And so we're going to milk that 2 out, and we know that 2 times 24 gives us 48, just like you see right here among the factors 2 and 24. And so we see that there is a matchup here as well. And now let's factor out 24 because 24 is actually a composite number. There are multiple ways to arrive at 24 other than 24 times 1. But again, we can milk out the 2 because we know that 2 times 12 will give us 24. And we can circle a number once it's prime. This will give us an indication that we don't have to work with it anymore, because if we circle the prime numbers, when we make our factor tree, then we know we're on our way. And 12 is a composite number in which we can milk out another 2 because we know that 2 times 6 will give us 12. But we're not finished yet because 6 is still a composite number in which we can milk out another 2. And we know that 2 times 3 will give us 6. And then again, we circle these prime factors, these prime numbers, so when we multiply them, they will actually end up being 48. And so when we look right here, we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 will give us 48. And this is the same as saying 2 to the fourth power times 3 equals 48. And this is how we can do our factor tree, rather, when we milk the twos. And so let's go ahead and milk the threes in this case, because 3 is a factor of 48, because we see that 3 right there, and we know that 3 is a prime number. So let's go ahead and milk that 3 out. Notice that 3 is right here. And so when we milk out the 3, we know that 3 times 16 will give us 48. And guess what? 16 is right here. And we can also factor out 16 because 16 is a composite number, and we can milk a 2 out here. And so when we take that 2, we know that 2 times 8 will give us 16. And now we can continue milking out the 2's right here. And now we know that 2 times 4 will give us 8. 4, believe it or not, is a composite number, and we can still, further yet, milk out 2 2's. And so again, we have a 3, a 2, a 2, a 2, and a 2. And over here, we have a 2, 2, 2, 2, and a 3. Same thing. No matter which prime number you milk out, is going to arrive at the same prime factorization. And so here's what we have right here. We have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3, which is the same as saying 2 to the fourth power times 3, which will give us 48. And here is our introductory video to the meaning of prime factorization. There are more videos on the way to help you get comfortable with this concept. But in the meantime, please pause the video if you like to kind of get a feel for how prime factorization works, or you could just simply replay the video as many times as you need to gain a deeper understanding of the meaning of prime factorization. But again, don't worry, there are more videos on the way. And please comment, share, like, and subscribe to Jackson's Math Notebook for more content. Thank you and goodbye.